Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Shopify SEO Image AI Optimizer. In this video, I will be demonstrating how to first extract your images from your Shopify products. Then we'll be resizing, compressing, and converting the images to webp format. After that, we'll be renaming the images using the Google Gemini API. And after that, we'll be replacing the images from the Shopify store itself. The whole point of this is to be able to rename your images, your image files from your products in your Shopify store using artificial intelligence. In this case, we're using the Gemini API. So, for example, I have these four products here, which if I click into, you will realize that their images are named incorrectly for SEO purposes, and they're missing alt text. As you know, for technical SEO, it is a standard to name your images according to what's in them so that they can be indexed by search engines correctly, and also to use the appropriate alt text for each image that you upload. So, what this tool does, it allows you to rename the images using artificial intelligence. In this case, we're using the Gemini API in order to prompt it for it to return a correct file name for what's in the image itself. In the future, we're also going to be using Gemini API to generate the alt text. We're already doing that. However, it could be better. So the only problem that I'm running into is that I'm running out of tokens. So that would have to be optimized. And in order to begin this process, the first thing we're going to do is go to your products in your Shopify store. And once you have set up the utilities API keys for your Gemini API and for Shopify and your Shopify store, then you can go to your products and go to the product from which where you want to begin. So in this case, I'm starting from this product. I will grab its ID, and from here I will paste that ID into the extract images URL script in the from ID variable. So what that is going to do is going to query the GraphQL from Shopify, starting from this product ID. And let me delete this from the last one that I did. So let's begin by running the extract images script. So what that's going to do is going to generate this image URLs text file, which has the product ID along with the media ID and the media placement and the media URL and the product handle. Now you see four images here that were downloaded. That's because each one of my products only has one image, and that's the media that you see here. Now, whatever happens in your logs is this is from a previous run. However, you will see that it runs in batches because GraphQL has a limit of returning 250 products at once. In order to bypass that, I had to run this in batches, and there's another video talking about that more in depth. This video is for the purpose of running through this as fast as possible. So let's go ahead to the next step, which is after extracting the images, you will use the download product images script in order to download the images that we just extracted from the products. Here you'll see what we just downloaded, JPEG format images with the wrong file names, and they're also placed into the placement folder. So if I had two images, it would be 0, 1 or 0, 1, 2 if I had three images. Now for the next part of this is resizing the images. In order to do this, you will first have to set your variables here accordingly. So if you had everything that's above this threshold is going to get resized, everything that's above this threshold is going to be compressed, and this is the quality for the webp images that we're going to be converting. If you're not happy with the results, you can run it again, and I would first start by making a backup of this downloaded images folder. That way you have access to it later. So let's rename this to original. Now let's go ahead and run the image resize script. Now, if images are not in the webp format, they will get converted to webp. And if you go to your logs, you will see that I ran this multiple times before. So the original was 620 kilobytes, and now we have a reduced size of 150 kilobytes for these four images that we just compressed, converted, and resized. The next part of this is going ahead and rename the images using our rename images script. Now, here you will need your Gemini API key and place it in your utility key, in your utility script. After that, you will go to your Gemini prompt and you will specify what you wanted to find in the image. For this example, I have analyzed the image and tell me the exact full name of the perfume in the image. If you cannot find the name of the perfume in the image, respond with no product string. This portion here is extremely important because in case that the script does not find the that the artificial intelligence does not find what's in the image, it will return this no product string that you set here. And what that does is that it gives it a safe name, renaming the file name to your product handle. So after that is done, you each product is gonna get appended with perfume fragrance online in Miami. That's because I am selling online, as I'm also selling in the Miami area, and each image is going to get appended with that. So you can set that up as well. And one thing that you can set up for too as well is the shop for. This here happens a couple times, and that's the text is going to get prepended with for now. So my file names after I run this are going to get renamed accordingly, and you can see the results happening as you open up the folders themselves. So for this one, we have shop for homage, reflection, man, perfume, fragrance, online, and in Miami. So that's what AI found in the image. Also, you can get as specific as you want with these, and the only limitation being your AI tokens that you shop for. So if you have more tokens available, you can set that up as well and be really specific with your prompt and your rename images script, so that way you get exactly what you're looking for. Now, your API responses will get output here in the API responses log and you'll see that you renamed the images. If you run out of tokens, it'll also say so here. The next part is uploading these images to the store. So for that, we're going to be using the replace remote images script. This does a couple things that I went over in the other video. So let's go ahead and run it. There's also the log for this, which is the upload logs. And you will see the results here. Once this is done, this should be the last one. The images are also deleted. and they're replaced with the new ones. Let's go back to products again, and we'll go see what happened to the images in these products. Great. As you can see now here, we have the renamed image and the new alt text for the product. And each one of them was renamed accordingly, accompanied by the correct alt text. You can see how hard it is to read this. However, this got it right. And you also see note the new dimensions here for the image and the reduced file size. All right, guys. I hope you guys found that useful as I did. I didn't have to sit through like 500 products that I had and name them and rename the images manually or buy anything. I just put the script up to make that easier for everybody. And if you guys find any, I'm sure there's multiple ways to improve this, and hopefully we can do that over time. Feel free to comment and leave feedback or open issues in the Git repository. I'll be looking at it, and I'll be maintaining this project for the time being.